What if I told you that the darkness we fear in the night sky is not just emptiness, but a secret gateway waiting to swallow everything we know? And what if I also told you that NASA's latest discovery is not about a distant galaxy or a far-off universe, but about something far closer, so close that its silent pull might already be brushing against the edges of our own solar system? A discovery so strange and so mysterious that even the most brilliant minds of NASA have admitted that this black hole was never supposed to be here, never supposed to exist this near to Earth, and yet it is there, lurking like an invisible predator, hiding in the cosmic shadows. And the most terrifying part is that this discovery was not made by accident, but by a series of signals. Whispers from the deep universe. Signals that were first dismissed as technical errors until the patterns became too clear, too consistent, and too ominous to ignore. Because when the James Webb Space Telescope first picked up unusual distortions in the background of star fields near the Orion Arm, the analysts thought it was a calibration issue, but then the distortions grew stronger, bending light in ways that only one phenomenon in the universe can explain: a black hole. But how could a black hole be so close without us knowing for centuries? Without any records from ancient star charts or gravitational predictions, unless it had been hiding, unless it had been waiting, unless it was not like the black holes we thought we understood, but something else, something more cunning. And so NASA began digging, comparing decades of data from Hubble, Chandra, and ground observatories, lining up every anomaly, every unexplained flicker in the night sky, and slowly a terrifying picture emerged that this black hole had been moving, drifting silently like a ghost ship through the darkness of space, invisible to our eyes, only revealed through its deadly fingerprint. The bending of starlight, the vanishing of faint objects, the shifting dance of faraway suns, and as scientists pieced it together, they realized it was not hundreds of thousands of light years away, not even tens of thousands, but shockingly within just a few thousand light years from Earth, a distance that in cosmic terms is frighteningly close, close enough to affect the balance of our galaxy's neighborhood, close enough that one wrong movement, one silent drift, could send it spiraling toward us. But the strangest part is not its distance, nor its power, but the fact that this black hole is unlike any they have studied before. Because unlike typical black holes that sit at the centers of galaxies or are born from collapsed giant stars, this one seems younger, quieter, almost calculated, and when NASA released their first internal report to a closed circle of astrophysicists, the language was not purely scientific. It was fearful, urgent, almost like a warning. Because this object is pulling matter not in chaotic violent bursts, but in careful patterns, like something guiding it, and as crazy as it sounds, some scientists began whispering about possibilities that are almost forbidden to mention in official science. Possibilities of an artificial black hole, something created or manipulated by a higher intelligence. Because what are the odds that such a powerful and rare phenomenon would drift so close to Earth, just as humanity has finally developed the instruments to see it, to recognize it, to fear it, and so the story deepened, with NASA keeping the information under tight control, releasing only small fragments to the public, speaking about new gravitational anomalies without ever saying the words nearby black hole. But behind closed doors, meetings stretched for hours, supercomputers ran endless simulations, and even the Pentagon was quietly briefed, because if this black hole continues on its path, or if its pull interacts with our solar system even slightly, it could distort the orbits of planets, shift asteroid belts, and trigger cosmic chaos. Yet there is something more unsettling, something that no one in the official reports is willing to write, but is whispered in late-night conversations among astronomers, that this black hole is not behaving randomly. It is following a path, a trajectory too smooth, too deliberate, almost as if it is being guided by some invisible hand, and the deeper NASA looks, the more impossible questions arise, like why this black hole has not yet consumed the star systems in its path, why it leaves strange echoes of radiation that do not match normal physics, and why certain radio signals, faint and broken, seem to hum around its perimeter like whispers circling a cosmic void, as if the black hole itself is not just a devourer of light but also a transmitter of secrets, a message wrapped in darkness. And the strangest evidence of all came when the Webb telescope recorded a repeating flicker from the edge of the black hole's event horizon, a pulse so precise, repeating every 47 seconds, too structured to be random, too perfect to be natural. And though official statements call it an observational curiosity, privately many within NASA believe it is a signal, a beacon, perhaps even a warning. And the question that now keeps every scientist awake at night is not only what this black hole is, but why it is here, why now, why near us. Because in all of human history, the cosmos has remained silent. But suddenly, in this exact era, as we stretch our hands into space, as we build telescopes and rockets and whisper our presence into the stars, this black hole appears at the edge of our neighborhood, as if answering, as if responding, and the more they study it, the more the patterns make sense in terrifying ways, like a riddle waiting to be solved. A riddle whose answer could either save us or doom us, and as days turn into weeks, NASA faces an impossible choice. Should they reveal the full truth to the world and risk global panic, or should they hide it, quietly preparing for whatever this dark wanderer may bring? Because one thing is certain, this black hole is not a passive object, not a silent accident of nature, but a presence that watches, a presence that pulls, a presence that seems to know. And as I tell you this, you must understand that what we have uncovered is only the beginning, the surface of something much deeper, because the real mystery is not just what this black hole is, but what lies beyond it, what it may be hiding, what it may be leading us toward. And even as I speak, the telescopes are still watching, the data still streaming, the patterns still repeating, and every second that passes brings us closer to the unknown, closer to the truth, closer to the next revelation that will change everything. Because the story of this black hole is not finished, not even close, it is only beginning. And the last word that NASA left in their most recent classified file was simply this: approaching. Yes, that was the word repeated in the classified file. Not just as a description of distance, but almost as if it carried a hidden meaning, because when scientists ran the most precise trajectory models of this mysterious black hole, they noticed that its path was not random wandering through interstellar space, but rather a steady, smooth movement that seemed to draw it nearer to a line that cut frighteningly close to the outskirts of our solar system. And while the official documents remain sealed, whispers among insiders suggest that the black hole's current drift will bring it into a region known as the Oort cloud within the next few 100,000 years, a blink of an eye in cosmic time. But even more terrifying is that smaller simulations showed gravitational disturbances already detectable in that very region. Tiny comets shifting ever so slightly in their orbits, as if something massive and unseen was pulling at them from the dark. And while the general public remains oblivious, in secret halls and underground briefings, NASA has shared the possibility that we are no longer just looking at a black hole existing near us, but at one that may be deliberately moving closer, its influence creeping into the edges of our own celestial home. And as those who dare to whisper the unthinkable suggest, this may not be a natural coincidence at all, because how else can one explain the flickering pulse recorded at its edge, repeating with mathematical precision like a clock in the void, ticking away seconds that lead to something we are not yet prepared to face, something that feels planned, And the deeper scientists looked into this signal, the more anomalies they found. Because hidden within those 47-second pulses were subtle modulations, like codes layered inside codes, information wrapped in darkness, as if the black hole is more than just a cosmic grave but a machine, a beacon, or worse, a doorway. And though most scientists resist the temptation to call it artificial, behind the locked doors of NASA's most restricted research facilities, some have admitted in trembling voices that what we are looking at could be the greatest and most terrifying discovery in human history, because if it is a machine, then who built it? And if it is a doorway, then to where does it lead? And if it is neither but something beyond our understanding?